Good evening, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news of this evening, PNP calls for MIPEN mayor to step down. The People's National Party is urging Mayor of MIPEN, Joel Williams, to resign from his post following the party's victory in Friday's by-election in the Inontown division. Speaking at a press conference on Tuesday, PNP President Mark Golding stated that it is the right and the proper course of action for Williams, as the PNP's win resulted in a tie in the Clarendon Municipal Corporation and the party has the popular vote. The right and the proper principled thing is for the existing mayor to step down and allow democracy to prevail, and to have the PNP councillors choose a mayor. That is the position that we believe is correct, he said. However, Golding did not divulge whether the opposition would be pursuing legal action against the Williams. The PNP's Delroy Dawson claimed the Inontown division, holding 1,646 votes, to defeat the Jamaica Labour Party's Suzette Barton, who received 1,592 votes. However, Mayor Williams told the news last week that this changed nothing. According to the law, nothing will change. If it was a general election, then that would figure. But in these circumstances, no. Once the mayor is appointed, the mayor will continue his mayorship. The only way it would change, unless you have a no-confidence vote, or someone shift from the JLP to the PNP, he said. Section 16 of the Local Governance Act 2016 outlines that a mayor may be removed from office after the expiration of 12 months from the date of the election, on a motion supported by a majority of all members of the council. PNP accuses government of mismanaging energy sector amid a promise to cut the GCT on electricity. The People's National Party says that the promise by Prime Minister Andrew Holness to cut the GCT on electricity to 7% next year ahead of the general election due in September is gross misconduct in the energy sector. The reduction in GCT on electricity was among promises by the Prime Minister at the JLP's 81st annual conference on Sunday, as he made the case for his party to be given a third term. Speaking at a media briefing on Tuesday morning, PNP leader Mark Golding said what is needed is strong leadership to reduce the cost of electricity through a transformation of the energy sector. Mr. Golding said the PNP has a plan and a shadow minister who will bring modern laws to achieve reduction in electricity bills and a massive investment to the energy sector. Shadow Energy Minister Philip Paulwell, who also spoke at the media briefing, said Jamaica has not seen such a gross mismanagement of the energy sector since independence. Rather than pivoting for growth, he is pivoting for election. We have seen tremendous hardship to the consumer, but we've also seen, because of the high price of electricity, the lack of growth in our economy. Jamaica's energy cost is one of the highest now in the world, coming from US 23 cents per kilowatt hour in 2016 when we left office, to at times way over US 40 cents per kilowatt hour. To solve the energy crisis, you have to have laser-like focus on both the energy generation and the energy transformation and the distribution. It won't be solved by some half-backed, cynical hand-wrenching scheme at the 11th hour on the eve of national elections to throw little and meaningless goodies at the problem, he contended. The People's National Party has also described the government's reverse income tax credit initiative as a blatant run-with-it vote-buying scheme. But PNP leader Mark Golding said it has backfired, as the recent by-election victories for the PNP in the Inontown and the Morant Bay divisions show that the Jamaican people are not for sale and are determined to have a change of government. Last month, the government launched its reverse income tax credit program to provide a one-off grant of $20,000 to eligible individuals who earned less than $3 million during year of assessment 2023. The initiative is costing an estimated $11.4 billion. Prime Minister condemns yet another mass shooting. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has described as disturbing yet another mass shooting in Jamaica stating that the incident may be gang-related. Holness, along with the Minister of National Security, Dr. Horace Chang, and the Commissioner of Police, Dr. Kevin Blake, today visited the Waltham Park Road area in St. Andrew following last night's gun attack that left 5 men dead who are yet to be identified. That incident came after another reported fatal shooting which occurred nearby. The first killing occurred about 7:30 p.m., followed by another reported shooting about 7:45 p.m. Residents said in both incidents the gunmen were on foot and escaped into the area. Holness expressed their condolences to the families and the loved ones of the victims, while highlighting that the government and the security forces have been working hard to combat crime, particularly eradicating gangs. We have moved from over 300 documented gangs to now just under 180, and we continue to decrease and eradicate them. So we take a careful note of the change in the nature of homicides in Jamaica, and though it is not yet the majority of homicides where the homicides are committed in what we are describing as multiple victim violent incidents rather than the term mass murder, which we are seeing generally used, which connotes a different kind of activity, Holness said. These murders are being committed essentially by gangs. Whilst the police have not definitively concluded in this specific instance that it is a gang-related matter, from what we are seeing so far, it is highly likely that it is a gang-related matter. The challenge, of course, is that the communities that are involved may not necessarily identify the players who are being involved in gang, because by and large, the community members would not be necessarily aware of the intricacy and the details as to how these gangs operate, Holness said. He spoke out about gangs' access to weapons. They acquire them, they stockpile them, they distribute them, they exercise control over them, and they use them to exercise control over territory. They use them to conduct illegal activity such as extortion, trafficking, and other forms of illegal activities, and ultimately they use them to inflict harm, violence, and ultimately death in the pursuit of their gang activities. Whether it is reprisals, whether it is robbery, whether it is extortion, whether it is protection, they use armed violence to exercise control and influence over geographical areas, and they use them ultimately to spread fear, Holness said. For his part, Chang sought to assure the public that the Security Ministry will do everything required to support the police in their efforts to apprehend the criminals who engage in mass shootings. We are concerned and will be looking at the entire criminal justice system to see how we can deal with these types of characters. The criminal justice system and the legislative framework to amend it to deal with this kind of criminal terrorism emerging, Chang said. The security minister added that the police will take every step necessary not only to apprehend the gangsters, but also undertake to prevent the formation of gangs. His sentiment was echoed by the police commissioner. This is another of the unprecedented multiple victims of violence incidents we have seen across the country in recent times. I would like to just assure the public that we have been quite relentless. These types of incidents require a different and strident response, and it has been receiving that type of response so far. Blake said that the police will be working assiduously in pursuing the individual behind Monday's murders in the area. These are innocent citizens playing a game of domino, which everyone should be able to do, and we, the JCF, commit that our way of life will continue and will not be disrupted by these individuals. Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.